I have a book haul to share. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So I have a book haul to share. I have some books physically, and I have some books on my Kindle that I've added. So this is encompassing all the books that I added to my collection in January, along with books that I added the last week of December. So I did acquire some books after my last book haul of December, which I will link in the description below if you haven't seen that one. And so we're going to talk about those ones first, and then I'll talk about what I've added in January. Okay, so I picked up these first 5 are all from Book Outlet. Okay, I got Yours Cheerfully by A.J. Pearce. This is book number 2 of the Emmy Lake Chronicles series. And at the time of recording this, I am reading book 1. And so when I saw that they had book 2, I was like, okay, I'm going to add that because I've seen 2 cover versions of this one. And this one, because I'm reading it, it's right here, this one matches it nicely compared to the other cover version I've seen. So yes. So we are 1941, London, England. Okay, then I got The Bones Will Speak by Carrie Stuart Parks. This is part of the Gwen Marcy series. I think, doesn't say on here. I'm pretty sure this is book 2 of the series. Yes, A Cry from Dust is book 1. So this is book 2 of the series, and I own book 4 of the series. So now I own book 2 and 4. I have never read Carrie Stuart Parks, but I'm like, I can't start with book number 4. So when I saw this one was available, I was like, okay, let's add it and I'll try to complete the series. Then I picked up Smokescreen by Terri Blackstock. I have read this one, but I'm trying to collect all Terri Blackstock's books, and I didn't have this one. And when I read it, it was a 5-star read. So now that I have it, I had an advanced reader copy at the time. So now that I have it physically, I would like to reread it at some point and add it to my Terri Blackstock collection. And He Should Have Told the Bees by Amanda Cox. This one just released, like I want to say last August maybe. I'm pretty sure it's a 2023 release. Yes, it is. And I really enjoyed her book, The Secret Keepers of Old Depot Grocery. Old Grocery Depot? Whatever that title is. She really likes long titles, right? He Should Have Told the Bees. So I was like, I really want to try this one. And I don't know, the black cover really drew me in. I just really liked it. So what is it about? I don't really know. Bees? Bookkeeper Beckett Walsh was living her dream until her father's untimely death sent her world into a tailspin. She suddenly finds she must deal with a new part owner of the family apiary, one who is looking to sell the property, and she cannot fathom why her father would put her in the position to lose everything they built together. So that's just the first half of the back summary, but that's enough. So yes. And then the last book from Book Outlet was Body of Evidence by Irene Hannon. This is book 3 of the Triple Threat series. Yes. And I have books 1 and 2 in the hardcover edition, so I wanted to get book 3 in the hardcover so that the series would match. I have read this one, I really enjoyed it, and it will complete a series on my shelf. Okay, then January's books. I gotta look at my list because they're Kindle books. So the first one is Emerald Windows by Terri Blackstock. I picked this up for a Kindle sale for $1.99, and I couldn't believe it. When I saw it, it was like, I haven't read a Terri Blackstock book? What? I thought I was up to date on all her books. And nope, hadn't read this one. And it says, 10 years ago, devastated by an ugly scandal, Brooke Martin fled the small town of Hayden to pursue a career as a stained glass artist. Now Brooke has returned on business to discover that some things never change. Her spotted reputation remains. Tongues still wag. and that makes what should be her dream assignment tough. Brooke has been hired to design a new stained glass window at Hayden Bible Church. The job is a career windfall, but Nick is overseeing the project, and some in the church think Nick and Brooke's relationship is not entirely professional, and as before, there is no convincing these people otherwise. Yeah, I'm like, how is it that Terri Blackstock has a book that I have not read and didn't know that I hadn't read it? So I picked that one up. Then the next book I picked up was on a free Kindle sale, and it's called To Belong Together by Emily Conrad. And it is book 2 of a series, but it was free. And I have read Emily Conrad before. I read her book Justice and really enjoyed it. So I was like, I want to try another one of her books because that was the only one I had read. From what I understand, it is a contemporary romance, I think, pretty sure. And it says, fame and money have a way of complicating love. Okay, then the last one I picked up on a Kindle sale is Confessions to a Stranger by Danielle Grandinetti. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And I remember seeing this one in some sort of blog post that I was following and reading the first chapter at the time, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And it is book 1 of the Harbored in Crow's Nest series. But from what I understand, yes, it's a historical romance. And it says, Wisconsin, 1930. While fleeing for her life, Adelaide Serlin's rescue of a child introduces her to a family who provides her safe harbor. When her identity comes under threat of exposure, she must choose between running once more or helping the man who teaches her to hope again. And it says, she's lost her future. He sacrificed his. Now they have a chance to reclaim it together. And I just, again, I love this cover. Like, the cover drew me in. And it sounds interesting. Okay, then the last book on my Kindle, that again, it was the cover that sold me. And it is an advanced reader copy that I have from NetGalley. It releases April the 9th. And that is The British Booksellers by Kristy Cambron. Cambron, I think. Could be saying that wrong. And this cover, I drew it in. However, it's London. Oh, that's funny. Once you see my vlog that I'm doing for the Dear Mrs. Bird book right now, I have a thing about war-torn London. Right now, I'm on a theme. So it says, inspired by real accounts of the forgotten Blitz bombings, The British Booksellers highlights the courage of those whose lives were forever changed by war, and the stories that bind us in the fight for what matters most. But it is a bookseller. London, England. Those are 2 buzzwords for me. And again, the cover. I just love it. So, yeah. So that is the last book on my Kindle. Then I've also acquired, I was very kindly gifted at Love's Command by Karen Witemeyer, by one of you. And you know who you are. And this is book 1 of the Hangers Horseman series. I absolutely love this series. Book 2 and book 3 are my favorite. However, I cannot reread the series without book 1. And I only have book 2 and book 3 physically on my shelf. So now this will complete that series on my shelf. I'm very, very happy about that. I will link my vlog that I did for this series in the description below. So if you want to see that, it's from last August. But yes, I love Karen Witmeyer's writing, and going back, historical time, I just love it. Then at a thrift store, I found The Governess of Highland Hall by Carrie Turansky. Always have to double think on her name. And I have absolutely adored Carrie's writing one of my favorite books is No Ocean Too Wide by her. And so when I saw this one, it's like, okay, let me give it a try. It is an older book, but it was only $2. And again, we are set in England. Missionary Julia Foster loves working alongside her parents, ministering and caring for young girls in India. But when the family must return to England due to illness, she readily accepts the burden for her parents' financial support. Taking on a job at Highland Hall as a governess, she quickly finds that teaching 4 privileged, ill-mannered charges at the grand estate is more challenging than expected, and she isn't sure what to make of the estate's preoccupied master, Sir William Ramsay. So, set in England, I should like it. And then the last book is London. It's not London. It's Embers in a London Sky by Sarah Sundin. I have this as an advanced reader copy from Rebel, and I, again, really enjoyed this story. Set in London, England, kind of obviously based on the title, right? And this is early World War II, 1940 is when it starts. And again, it's another gorgeous cover. So those are all the books, plus the Kindle ones that I have acquired really in the month of January and that last week of December. And yeah, some of these, thankfully, some of these I can add to my read section on my shelf, which I might need to make some more room. And some of them will be added to my TBR to be read, hopefully this year, maybe? We'll see what happens. So I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I would love to know, have you read any of these books, especially the ones that I haven't read, and should they move up on my priority list? Let's chat in the comments below. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.